Oh man, I keep forgetting how small the writing is on this sort of stuff. I can't see anything. I've got different cameras going, so um, I'm going to be all over the shop. And I thought it's Sunday night. Just got back from soccer, have a bit of a chat with you guys, see what's going on, check in with people. I know there's some questions that I haven't answered that I need to get back to people and figure things out. I've been doing some research online, getting in touch with my people in Greece regarding Daftotis, which was the main thing that came up from a few of you. Do you need a Daftoda to buy in Greece? How do we obtain a Daftoda? Can it happen from here? You don't need a Daftoda. You can. It's not that you need a Daftoda to buy in Greece. It's just that you need some kind of identification to open up a bank account in Greece, which is what you need. You also need to get an AFIMI, which generally it's like showing proof of ID here. That's what Daftoda is. So no, you can't actually get one in Australia. You need to go to a Greek police station to do it. Go to whichever local authority you're part of, and then essentially, I think you need to actually have a residency there. I'm not sure about that because they're going to ask you for identification and whatnot, or you need to have some kind of home base. Essentially, you'll go to the police station where your home base is. I don't know if you can just go off to an island and be like, give me my daftoda. Because it also takes a couple of weeks to do. And the other thing that's happening, which is sort of good, but it's also going to delay stuff, is the fact that right now Greece is starting to go with the daftodas like we have in Australia, which are the plastic ID cards. So all the old daftodas are going to become null and void within, I think, a couple of years or whatever it is. Could also be next year. So you need to go and get your stuff changed over. I mean, I'm one of them. I need to go and get my stuff changed over to the card, essentially. But yeah, I can't really see what's going on. People are inviting me to co-host. I don't even know what that means. I'm very new to this TikTok live kind of stuff. I show my age, maybe. Who cares? Don't make me cry. But yeah, so this is a thing that you don't need to buy. It's handy to have, but you do need to show some kind of proof of ID to open up a bank account and then to get your AFIMI, which you can do through your taxes net. Generally, all is done through an accountant in Greece. So, and bottom line is, no, you can't get a daftoda here. I called them up. So I had a few people from Sydney say, no, they won't let us do it. And I'm like, what are you on about? They used to, maybe it's me, I don't know, but I could have sworn that you could have done it from the consulate years ago. No, you can't. Are you sad alone? No, I'm not sad alone. I got a sausage dog in the bedroom. Hi, George. Nice to see. I can't even read this writing, man. I'm sad that I'm getting old. I'm sad that I can't read the writing. That's what I'm sad about. Not about being alone, being on my own for 20 years. And me and my partner are about to go watch a movie, so I'm okay. Thank you for caring. Who are you? It's me, Pink. You Sadie Pink? Anyway, any other questions from people, please fire away. Get in touch with me. Some people have asked about apartment buildings in Sydney, in Athens, and a few other things. So yeah, there are apartment buildings. One guy, I don't know whether he was joking or not, but was like, can I get apartment buildings in Athens or Kalamata, I think it was, for €3 million? Yeah. Yes, you can. Yeah, absolutely you can. Yes. You can buy a few for €3 million. You don't need to spend that much money. $3 million, maybe. €3 million, definitely not. You can buy some stuff in the Ellinikon for that kind of money, to be fair. So if that was a serious offer, yeah, I've already done some research, and yeah, there's some really nice ones that realistically apartment buildings are not that, for an apartment building. I mean, we're not talking about 25 apartments. You could be talking 4 or 5 apartments. You could be talking 10 apartments. They go anywhere from $500,000 upwards, and they're quite good. Like, they're ready to be leased. Depends what you want to do with it. Depends how much money you got to spend, all that kind of stuff. A few people have gone, oh, where are these €30,000 properties? Where are these €40,000 properties? You're not going to find a perfectly built property in Greece for €40,000. You got to be smart about it. You're going to buy something that's a dump. You're going to buy something that's small. You're going to buy something that's not worth that much. You need to get creative, and that's how I've been doing my properties. Where I've gotten creative with everything. I've been buying smaller stuff, building them up, and leasing them out. So the last thing I bought was a shop for €27,000. and I'm about to go back and build all that over the next few months. I'm starting the planning stages, I guess, and getting all the materials ready and all the prices and all that kind of stuff. And then when I go there in July, when I start, in fact, they were going to start breaking ground today, and I said, not today, this week, and I said, no, I want to be there to at least film most of it as much as I can, because I want to put it up on YouTube. I want to show you guys that I'm not just lying about what I do, that legitimately I am doing this sort of stuff. And also, I'm about to go back and renovate my first apartment, and look at a few other people's. Someone got in touch with me. Is literally around the corner from I've got one of my places, and it's like, my apartment's been empty for a couple of years in Thessaloniki. Can you manage it? Can you do this? I said, yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to go there and check stuff out, and I can't wait to show you guys this progress and show you guys what is actually attainable in Greece. It's not just fearful and that you're going to get screwed over and you're going to do this and you're going to do that. Like, there is that negativity, there is that issue, there is that fear that, yes, potentially that could happen, just like it can happen to anyone, anywhere. If you don't know the ropes, you're going to get stuffed over. I did. Thankfully, I had people that helped me through it. But don't let the fear get you down. There is money to be made. It's an absolute gold mine in Greece. Whether people don't want to see it, whether we're a society that's based on the old WOG kind of teachings of their daughter, this and that, and they're going to screw you over, and the government, and the cult, and blah, blah. If you want to believe that, then that's true. That's 100% true. That's what's going to happen to you. You're gonna have that kind of stuff happen to you. So it really is up to you. Take me with you. I'll work for free. What are your trades? What can you do? Actually, careful what you're saying, because I will take you up on that. I need some workers. Actually, one thing that I'm finding difficult up there, so I need to lean in because I've got it low and I can't see what's going on. One of the things that I'm finding difficult over there, I want to do polished concrete in this new shop, and it's not something that it's something that I'm struggling to find. Everyone there is all like, okay, it's easy, it's cleaner. My mum, that's all I hear from my mum. Which is probably true. I should listen to the old WOG who does all the cleaning in the house and has done for the last 70 years anyway. But, I'm coming from the Western mentality as well, where I'm like, no, I want to do, polished concrete. And I don't know if it's going to work. They got the mosaic down there, the old mosaic tiles, which there is a nice beauty, I guess, to it. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just old and woggy, and I kind of just sort of want to take it away from that. I'm turning a shop into a loft apartment, and hopefully I've got the metery dry. We'll see. Maybe you might need a duct to get into bed upstairs. We'll see. It's interesting. It's the first time doing a loft where I'm going to put a nice wooden and glass staircase, glass balustrade, and all that kind of stuff, and I just want some polished concrete. But here you can find that. There, it's not that you can't find it, it's just not that common, especially when you're coming into the investment properties, because people are just like, that's fine, just do the necessities, do the bare minimum. And you can do that as well. It's cheaper to do tiles. Believe me, it's cheaper to do tiles. It's invited to co-host. I don't know what that means, and so no. What does co-hosting mean? Can anyone explain that to me? I'm a welder, but grew up on a farm and can do anything. Mate, come weld me some stairs. I'm not even joking. Come weld me some stairs. This area is, in your opinion, to purchase in Athens at the moment. I've had this come up a lot, where they're like, what are your best areas? What are your best areas? For what? What do you want to do? Do you want a short term with Airbnb? Stay away from the south side because of the bands that are coming through. In fact, you can't, what do you want to do? Long lease? Do you want to build? Do you want to renovate? At the end of the day, me personally, best areas to think, I'd be buying Ammonia. It's the shithole. It's dirty. It's filthy. No one wants to touch it. That's why purposely I'd buy it. I stayed in an apartment thing. Hello, many bags of fact. I would like to purchase on an island. Which island? Okay, let me just get to this. When people ask me what area, I don't go after area. I go after figures. I would buy a hole in Afghanistan if it could make me $1 million. I don't care about the area. At the end of the day, someone needs to live somewhere. Someone wants to stay somewhere. I've bought in nice areas in Thessaloniki, and I've bought in bad areas in Thessaloniki, and both are making money. You don't have to put in the I would like to purchase Greek property investment. So it's okay. So I'm just reading something. Um, I don't know. I look at things differently because everything's going up. If you want something that's going to hold on to its value and you want to look long term and you want to risk some money and you want to maybe play it a little bit smart, man, I would be hitting Omonia. I can't believe it. I was there last year. Things were cheap. 3-bedroom apartment with a massive balcony either side of the thing. And I sat out on the balcony and I was having a cigarette. Don't smoke. I was smoking back then, as you do. And I had a look outside and I was like, oh my God, there's the Acropolis. And I didn't even realize I was in Omonia. It didn't trigger. I remember when the taxi driver dropped me, I was like, oh, make sure you're careful around you. I was like, mate, I'm a big boy. I'm 6 foot. I'm 110 kilos. I'm sure I'll be fine. I'm like, and then I was like, oh my God, this is Omonia. I legitimately didn't even realize where I was staying. So it depends what you want. I mean, you can obviously go down south towards the water and buy beautiful, penthouse villas and this and that. And that. It just depends what you want, man. And it depends how much you got to spend. Building is an interesting thing. I don't know if I'd be building in Athens at the moment. I think I'd be staying away from that kind of stuff. But firstly, materials and labor hire is all going to go down to the Ellinikon. I think it might be an interesting time. Not that there aren't local builders that can do stuff, but I think, that's going to take precedent with anything that needs building. And it's not just buy something and build it. You've got to go through permits as well. You've got to do it. They do run nice there. They do run legally in Greece as well. Better with what they keep telling you. Islands. This is an interesting one. I said this not long ago. I was having this conversation with someone. And I hate that I'm saying this, but it's a business-minded thing. If you've got money to spend, I would hold off for a little bit and look at I think it's going to be interesting what happens over the next year with Paros and Mykonos, only because they got flood damaged. And I'm not saying that they're not going to rebuild and they're not going to be back again, but I think their tourism industry is going to get hit, especially this year. And some people might just go, you know what, we don't have the money or the time frame. It's going to squeeze them out. And I say this why? Firstly, they got drenched 2 months ago. So just right, because peak season is starting now, as of May 1st. I think technically the season starts. I mean, my mum's there now. She went back a couple of days ago. It's 27. It's in Thessaloniki, let alone Athens and further down, which gets hotter. So it's going to, peak season peak season is starting up a little bit. Materials, you need to get materials across those islands. You need to get labor hire as well. Everything's going to go. Who's it going to go to first? How many people are going to go down there, and how many people are going to overcharge because it's Mykonos and because it's Paros, and they need is it Paros or Naxos? Whichever one got hit, I think it's Paros. How many people are going to be saying, okay, we obviously need this hotel or this shop built very quickly because of tourist season, so we're going to charge extremely high. Materials are going to take a lot longer to come in because materials are coming from Athens, and the ships have only just started going. They don't travel 3 times a day throughout the year. As the tourist season grows, they start to get more and more frequent. So if I wouldn't be surprised there's some opportunities that have come up that way. On the other side of things, down along, I was in Kalimnos last year. Kalimnos, even Leros, I got friends in Leros. But Kalimnos, again, it depends what you want, because if you want to make some money and stuff like that and you want to hit the tourists, I mean, Crete, Cyprus, you don't need to go Mykonos, Santorini. In fact, I think I would probably avoid those areas personally myself because I think they're overdone. But I mean, I would like to go every year at least for 3 months in a year. Wow. Syros, yeah, perfect, absolutely. But Kalimnos really, really surprised me. And for those of you that don't know where Kalimnos is, it's not near Turkey, but I mean, it's kind of down on that side of things. It's right next to Leros. Where did I come from? I came from, I think, from Crete. I think you fly into Crete and then catch a ferry across, or you can come in another way. But Kalymnos is where the sponges, the natural sponges, grow in those oceans there, in those waters. Sorry, not oceans. And it's touristy, but not touristy with the locals, like Greeks and maybe Europeans, but not really a lot of Westerners. It's not EOS, for argument's sake, but there's a lot of beautiful local tourists around, and you get a taste of proper Greek island tradition with Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Good content. 5 rentals in Patra. My God, hit me up. I want to chat to you about that. I want to see how that's going. But yeah, as I was saying, Galinos, a good taste of local traditional culture in the summer. You get a hint of tourism as well, external tourism. I mean, not obviously internal. And it's a nice, biggish island. There's a lot to see, but also really tight knit. The waters are kind of rough. It's nice. I mean, the island waters are always going to be rougher than they are on the mainland because they're more exposed. They get hit. But that island, I don't know, there was something about that island that I remember looking at prices of property there, and on the Caldera, I think they're called, where it's just on the on the face of the mountain, essentially the hill. You've got your town, and then it comes up, and on that hill, they're generally built like 3 stories high. Essentially, they're not 3 stories, but you know what I mean. And there was one of them that was going for like 90,000 euro. And I remember having a look at the photos, and one of the photos was from inside of the door, inside of the room, facing out of the door, and you could see the door open and just water and like the half moon crescent of the bay and the town, and it was 90,000 euro. And granted, it needed a bit of work, but I mean, 90,000 to wake up in the morning, sip your cafe, have your cigarro, and have a look at the freaking face of the island in front of you, and like, excuse me. And that island doesn't stop. I was where at the accommodation I stayed at, I said to him, like, oh, you're about to die down now. I think it was like August when I was there, or September I was leaving. And he's like, yeah, maybe for like a month or two we get time to like really clean things up and settle down, but then winter hits and all the rock climbers come down. And I'm like, oh. And he goes, yeah, we go right through till about February, then we die for a couple of months, clean, renovate, repair, and then we start up for the summer season. I was like, that is very interesting. And I dare say one of those islands, something like Galinos, is probably going to take off later on in the years, but I don't think you'll see a downside with rentals returns there as well. You can Airbnb, you can short term, there's no issue there. And also, don't forget, with those islands as well, people need to live. Locals need to live somewhere. Not everyone wants to live with their parents as well. So, people do need, your rents aren't going to be the same as they are on the mainland in Greece and in the massive cities. But I mean, if you have money to play with and you got a couple, 100,000, 150,000, and you want to maybe lease it out for a bit, maybe do short-term rentals, lease it out in Airbnb, and then maybe keep it clear for when you go back to Greece. I mean, I honestly would be looking at Galinos or similar islands. I mean, I want to buy in Zakynthos, but that's a whole different story. Now, can't buy that for you in Melbourne or Sydney. Absolutely, you can't. Absolutely, you can't. I mean, what do you look, Sydney? As a Melbourneite, I should hate Sydney. I don't. I actually like it. I think it's a very beautiful, it's a very picturesque city. I love the fact that you guys have got hills, mountains, and beautiful waters right in the heart of the city. We don't. You need to go out either to Torquay or you need to go down towards the Mornington Peninsula. You're going to get a view like that in Melbourne, but it's just not going to be a Greek island. It's what are you going to see? Dark clouds, grey clouds. Like, at least Sydney's got better weather. Melbourne, doesn't know what it's going to do over the day. So yeah, but also it's not that you can't get those views. You can. You go out to Mornington Peninsula, you're going to get that view. Do you have 2 mil? Because that's what it's going to cost you. Effectively, that's what it is. You don't need 2 mil to get that view in Greece. You can, absolutely, you can. You can get a view like that for 20 mil in Greece, but you don't need it. That's what I'm saying. That's the difference. And it's a Greek island. It's not Mornington Peninsula. Especially with Albanese, he's really good. Listen, I'm not getting into politics. Not on these. I'm not talking about anything. Do not. Sorry, I got to keep leaning in. I can't. I'm just focusing on. I also think my battery's about to die. But anyway, I'll keep this short. But I am going to do a. I was going to do a video, but I've gotten a little bit sick. But I will do one over the next couple of days. I want to talk more about what to look for when you're searching for properties, because I'm really in it now. I'm looking for an uncle. I'm looking for a couple of clients. I'm looking for myself. So I've started to come across a few things, and people are like, what does this mean? What do you mean with that? What should we do here? So I was like, oh, okay, interesting. Maybe that's another topic I need to speak about. And I thought this was the main thing that came up a few times, and legal issues with regards to, here's the other thing. People have asked me, can you manage my place? Can you do this? Can you buy me that? Yes, but it needs to be in your name. If it's not in your name, we can't do anything. You can't do anything. The person whose name it's in. Also, when people are saying, oh, I've inherited this, or my wife's inherited that, or my grandma's dead goat inherited this. Did they actually inherit it, or is it coming to them? There's two different things. You can have inheritance coming your way, but if you don't claim the inheritance, it's not in your name. And by claiming it means that you need to go to a lawyer, sign a civil biographer, rather. I mean, lawyer, civil biographer, create the contract and say, yes, I am claiming this in my name, and I am also paying the taxes that are needed for it's essentially an inheritance tax plus whatever anything else is owing. You're taking on that yourself, whoever picks that up. So, what are the tax implications? I know you should be paying taxes in Greece and Australia. Yes, correct. Very good question. I pay double taxes. We don't have a double tax agreement in Australia with Greece, probably because all the Greeks have come here, taken their pensions, and gone off. So Australia knows that Greeks need us essentially, and vice versa. So they're going to charge us double. Now, listen, you're not paying a lot of taxes in Greece as it is, especially as an Australian, considering what we're paying here for investment properties. Over there, it's peanuts. But Australia still needs to. I'm not a financial advisor. This is all I've been said. Seek your own professional advice, please. Your legal advice. I'm in no way, shape, or form what's it called? Giving you any kind of advice. It's just my own situation, what I've noticed and what I've seen. My accountant was like, look, if it's under 50 grand, you can kind of get away with it, but anything above, you've got to legally say to them. And I think it even says when you do the taxes, it's like, do you have anything that's over $50,000 in Greece? They want to see what you're making. Australia technically wants to see. Do you go live in advising? This is my third time. I hate it. I feel so weird talking in front of a camera, which is weird because I'm an actor. I actually am. I've come out of acting school. I've been in theatre, television, currently on a TV show, blah, blah, blah. But I actually hate speaking live. As you can see with my hands, I don't have this in film and TV. Anyway, back to the tax implications. We do pay double taxes. You do need to let Australia needs to know technically, and Greece also wants to know what you do. The Greek banks. This is what did my head in. I went there last year, my own money in my bank account, and I'm like, I'd like to pull out some cash, and they're like, no, we need some details from you. And I was like, what do you mean? They're like, oh, you haven't, whatever. I can't even remember what the situation was, but they wouldn't let me pull out money until I gave them I had to give them my tax. My tax file number. I had to give them my tax. What's it called? Not the breakdown. Whatever it is that you get from here from the accountants every year, like jobs and pay slips. I was like, you don't need all this shit to take my money, though, do you? Like you'll gladly take my money, but I can't. I could pull out 100 or whatever, but he's like, I needed to pull out thousands to obviously pay for some renovations or whatever. So that's an interesting thing. They need to know. They want to know everything that you have here that you're making and not making. They want to see your tax returns in Australia if you're there as an Australian. If you open up a bank account as an Australian citizen as well. So be careful of that. But yes, taxes, we do have to pay double taxes. Now your accountant might have some workarounds around it. I don't know. I'm not an accountant, but I know that I've made all mine legal because I was coming into inheritance as well. My parents own a fair bit of property and I own my own. So I wanted to do everything legally. And also because I wanted to start this job, I can't be going around doing dodgy shit and then preaching it. So, but the other thing was that I was able to claim everything in Greece. Here's the other thing I'm going to tell you guys. Greeks will give you a price. And it's a cash price. It's not with a receipt. You want a receipt, they'll charge an extra 24%, which is their VAT, GST, whatever it is. So whenever you're doing any kind of work in Greece or whenever you get someone, send a request to be in your live video. Why people are sending requests to be in my live video? I don't know what this means. I need it, and I'm very scared that I'm going to accept this and someone's Tutsuni is just going to be there and then I'm going to get shut down. So I'm not accepting anyone. On the topic of renovations, how reliable are they in Greece? I heard some dodgy things with tradies. Yeah, absolutely. This is one of the dodgy things I was telling you about. Not dodgy, but listen, I when I went there, I went to a Greek trader because I was like, I'm going to do it Greek way, give the work to the Greek, da da da. The Greek gave me a price, and it effectively came down to €400 a day just for labor. I was like, €400 a day. What are we doing here? And then that was just labor, materials excluded. But he heard an Australian accent. He heard that I was from Australia, this and that. Across the road from me, I had a neighbor who's from Albania who I've known for 15 years. Maybe even more, and he's a builder, and I got him to do it, and all the work's been top shelf. Like I've had no issues. He's done all my properties. In fact, I was talking to him this morning, today, getting ready to do the next one. So, but again, it depends who you go to, and also he goes, well, this is the price for cash, and this is the price for receipts, and whatever. It's up to you, but that's what I'm saying. Generally, they will give you a price, and it's generally cash. I had an electrician again, great electrician. I was chasing him for 2 months for a receipt. In the end, he had to come back and give me the extra €36 or whatever. He gave it to my mum because I had already gone to Australia. But they'll get away with it. Like, oh, yeah, we'll give you a receipt. We'll give it to you next month. We'll give it to you next month. Hoping that you go, oh, I'm going to forget. So then on top of it, they haven't even just gotten the cash price. They've gotten the receipt price and they haven't given you the receipt. So that's the only thing you got to be careful of. But again, I know how to deal with these things before it goes ahead. I know what to ask. I know what to say. And I know, who's going to generally do it. The Greeks are generally going to sting you. Not all, but you got to be careful in that instance. And at the end of the day, it's like it's €30, but 30 here, 30 there, 150 there. It blows your budget out. Now, granted, it's not that expensive to build in Greece. It's not that expensive to do renovations. Depending when you're obviously Athens is going to be a little bit more expensive than where I'm in Thessaloniki, but still, like, it's not that expensive. And, we're kind of lucky in the sense that we do have the Australian dollar that even though it's weaker than the euro, it still compares. And it's still, when they're charging €80 a day for a builder as a rate, which, it's what, $130 a day for a day. There's no 9 to 5. It's do the work. So, what are you going to get done here for $130 a day labor hire, other than someone digging holes, for what, 5 hours? Yeah, but like I said, I have my team of people there now. I know what to look for. I know what to ask, and I still run the risk of getting done every now and then. It's just that I know who to work with now. The same people have done my properties year in, year out, and my old adage is, if it's not broken, why fix it? So, and also, I'm very loyal. If someone helps me out, I'm going to continuously go there. I don't care where they're from. I don't care what they do. If they do good work, all I care about is, do you do good work? What do you want? Do you do good work? And I will try people out. I'll try a different electrician. I'll try a different account. I'll try a different lawyer. I'll try whatever it is. Do you do the work good? Are you sitting here trying to stiff me, or are you not? I won't give them a big thing. I'll give them a small thing to see what they do and compare it with other people as well. Prices in Santorini still stable. I heard not many tourists. Sorry, jumping on topics. No, that's fine. This is what I was saying earlier on. I don't know about the price in Santorini, but I haven't actually even looked at Santorini. But here's what I was saying, especially with Mykonos and Paros as well. Santorini got hit by the volcano. Didn't get hit by the volcano, but they obviously had some damage, I think, by the volcano. I wouldn't be surprised if this year these islands struggle a little bit. Maybe not Santorini. Santorini is Santorini, and I think they've got it covered. But the other two islands that got flooded, I think, are in sort of salvation mode, emergency crisis salvation mode, because the tourist season is technically started off. It's kicked off. It's getting warmer in Greece at the moment. Tourists start to go from May-ish onwards till about October, whatever the season is, and again, the materials that are needed to get there are coming from Athens generally. Maybe Santorini and Mykonos have got sort of some kind of establishment with bricks and cement and all that kind of stuff, but generally not, for an apartment or a building or something like that. And also, there's something big going up in Santorini, I think, at the moment as well. There's a massive hotel. Is it Santorini or Mykonos? Anyway, but again, materials are going to go there. So essentially, it's going to trickle down to the small businesses, the shops and the Airbnbs and whatnot, who aren't that big and just need a labourer who, we need to rebuild this wall, we need to put up these windows, we need to do this and that. Firstly, these materials are going to come from Athens generally, or neighbouring islands. It's not going to be a quick 1 hour drive. It's going to be a 12-hour ferry, essentially. And then you're going to have to find labour to do it. And who's going to do it? Because they're either working on someone else's property. And if they're not, okay, they're definitely going to bump their rates, because they're like, well, you need this, and we're the only one doing it. You're going to bring down a labourer or a builder or an electrician or whatever from Athens. Where are you going to put them up? You're going to place. So people are going to feel the sting, especially now with tourist season starting. They're going to feel the pressure to build something, and it's not going to get done. And they're either going to get hit and be able to recoup, or some people might even end up selling up. I wouldn't be surprised if these islands have a bit of an influx on properties and businesses that go up for sale in the next 12 months because of what's happened. Unfortunately, it's unfortunate, but it's business. This, it's business. It is what it is. Um, Greek tax implications discussion. I don't know what that. Oh, that's AI. I don't know what that means. Anyway, any other questions or anything else? I love the support. I love the. I'm actually really blown away by how many people tune in, listen, ask me questions. I was scared to start this. I was worried. I thought people were going to laugh at me when I first bought my first apartment in 2017. People laughed at me. You're an idiot. You're going to lose your money. Greece is a dead zone. Da da da. Bought it for 19. It's now sitting at 70. So I, I just. But I thought, well, if I have these issues, if I have these situations, and I've had to jump these hurdles, and other Greek friends of mine who have needed the help, where I've taken them to my account on Milo or whatever, needed this stuff, then community flag comments. Okay, that's a new one. Anyway, I thought, well, someone else is going to have these issues. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. But please subscribe, comment, like, share, get in touch. I will be there July onwards for a couple of months renovating my places. So I will take you guys through all that stuff and show you everything as well. Is there any good time of the year to buy an apartment in Greece? Yeah, not summer, believe me, because everyone goes away for their beach holidays, and then you're stuck there waiting. Generally, it shouldn't take more than 6 to 8 weeks to get a contract, like a bill of sale done, essentially. Um, that's before the cup of double. So from there on, see you later. So no, no, I think it's the 1st of August where they all go away. Anyway, whatever it is, summer's, you're going to struggle because everyone's either on holiday mode, getting ready for holiday mode, upset that they're not on holidays, can't be bothered, off drinking this frappe, going to the beach, having the tea before they go on holidays, and then they're on holidays. So yeah, probably definitely not summer. It would be my my advice. But I need to jump off. Thank you so much, guys. I will be putting up more videos this week. Again, I appreciate the support and the comments and the questions and the likes and the shares and the subscriptions. It still blows my mind. So thank you so much. Now to do this dance of jumping off every single platform. So I don't even know how to end this. Oh, there we go. And now, and now, and now. Thank you.